Today's video of the top 10 is a bit more. Again, this time is the top 13, not 3013. Today is the 13 best vegetables you can grow indoors. Here we go. Number 13, arugula. Arugula has all the characteristic of an excellent crop indoors. It is compact, it grows fast, and it doesn't grow well in the heat of the summer, so indoor spaces where it is protected from the scorching sun works really well. Growing arugula indoors also keeps it out of reach from the notorious flea beetles that ferociously devour the leaves. Outdoors, arugula have two seasons, early spring and late summer, into fall. Indoors, you are not limited to just planting arugula twice. For a continual harvest, sow more seeds every 2 to 3 weeks. The USD hardiness zones 2 to 11, light, full sun to partial shade. Soil is loamy, moist or well drained, and days to maturity is 40 to 50. Number 12, celery. Growing celery from the base of the stalk is fun. Easy indoor garden project. You might get more leaves and stalks when growing celery from its base. And your celery might not be as big as a store-bought bunch, but you will get fast results. You start out by placing the base in water and place it in a location with bright light but out of direct sunlight. That's the other great thing about growing celery. It does not require grow lights or sunny spot in the window. All you need to do is keep it moist. Once it has started to grow new leaves, they are ready to be harvested. Or, if you want to keep growing plant it in the potting soil. Hardness zones is 2 to 11, partial sun, loamy, moist, well-drained soil, and days to regrow leaves 5 to 7 days. Number 11, kale. There are considerable size between kale varieties. For indoor growing, pick a compact variety that is suitable for container growing or one that can be harvested for baby leaves. Kale has a relatively fast growth rate. It grows from seed to harvest in just about 3 months. Outdoors, it is the best planted in the late winter or early spring or late summer for a fall to winter harvest. Indoors, you don't have these seasonal limitations as long as you keep the room temperature between 60 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Placing kale in an east-facing window helps prevent scorching from the afternoon sun. Hardness zone is 7 to 9, light, full sun to partial sun. Soil is loamy, moist, well-drained, and days to maturity is 50 to 55 days. 10. Herbs. Herbs are one of the most popular plants to grow indoors, and varieties like basil, oregano, parsley, mint, rosemary, and thyme are all known to thrive on kitchen windows, ready for a quick additional meal at any point. It is possible to plant more than one type of herb in a single container, just to make sure you match up their sun and water needs. For example, Mediterranean herbs like thyme and rosemary thrive in full sun and prefer to dry out between watering. Meanwhile, basil and mint will wilt if their soil isn't kept continuously moist. Hardness zones is 2 to 11, light is full sun, soil is loamy, sandy, and well drained, and days to maturity varies for each herb. Number 9, radishes. Quickly growing radishes are small and popular root vegetables that grow easily indoors. These annuals are planted for a spring or fall harvest, adding brilliant colour to salads and other dishes. Radishes only need to be planted 3 inches apart after you separate the seedlings, which means they adapt seamlessly to growing in containers and live happily on a sunny windowsill or under an LED grow light. If you hope to have radishes all season long, plant them in stages. This will give you an ongoing succession of maturing radishes that will last for weeks or months. Hardness zone is 2 to 11, full sunlight. Soil loamy, sandy, moist, well drained with an acidic to neutral pH. Days to maturity is 30 to 60. 8. Potatoes. Potatoes might not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of vegetables to grow indoors, but they're an easy-to-grow, low-maintenance plant that grows well in containers. While potatoes grow in the ground, they do require full sun, so you'll want to put them either in a sunny south-facing window or enlist the help of an artificial light. Hardness zone is 3 to 11, light is full sun, soil loamy with an acidic pH, and days to maturity 80 to 100 days. 7. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are tropical perennials that die off at the end of their season, returning again the following year. If you have a large tomato plant already established the following year, if you have a large one established in your garden, your best bet is to leave it there. However, if you want to grow tomatoes year-round indoors, start a new plant from seed at the end of summer. Once the seedlings are 4 inches tall, move them to a permanent pot, and make sure they have 10 hours of light per day. The lighting quota may sound excessive, but if you want fruits, that is what plants need all year. You'll also boost your luck by feeding your tomato plant with a water-soluble organic fertilizer after repotting. Expect the plants to become heavy, so staking or using a tomato cage is a must. Hardness zone is 2 to 11, light is full sun, loamy well-drained soil with an acidic pH, days to maturity 50 to 65. 6. Scallions. When you can't grow traditional bulb onions indoors, scallions just do fine. And you'll actually don't even need seeds to get them started. Plop a bunch of scallions in about an inch of water in a container. Some gardeners have even had success replanting the root end of scallions after using the tops. When the root has reached a couple of inches long, move them to a shallow container of pot and mix to continue growing. Harvest the green tops, leaving about an inch of the stem to regrow. 6 to 9, full sun, sandy, loamy, well-drained with an acidic to neutral pH, and 50 to 70 days. 5. Microgreens. Microgreens are tiny fresh sprouts that are among the most effortless foods to grow indoors, especially considering they don't take up much space or time. Typically, they're a mix of seeds from various greens herbs, such as beets, radishes, kale, Swiss chard, and basil. 9 microgreens, light, 18 hours of artificial light, soil, no soil, peat-based mix, and 14 to 21 days. Next one, lettuce. Lettuce and other salad greens is a fast-growing vegetable and shallow-rooted, so it will not need a deep container. Choose a planter that is 2 to 4 inches deep, and it will fill with moist, well-draining soil. Sow your seeds by gently pressing them into the surface of the soil, and then mist to keep them moist. You should see germination within about a week. Hardness zone is 2 to 11, full sun to partial sun, loamy, rich, well-drained soil with an acidic to neutral pH, and 30 to 70 days. Next, hot peppers, number 3. Pepper plants are tropical perennials. They shrivel at just a hint of frost, but indoors they thrive. Plant some sweet or hot peppers from seeds, or pot some plants from your garden in the late summer to bring inside. You might not get a huge harvest, but they will fruit. Use a container that is at least 8 inches tall. Additionally, allowing the container to dry out between waterings so you don't risk drowning the plant. They are self-pollinating, but you may need to help them along. Hardness zone is 9 to 11, full sun, well-draining soil with a neutral pH, and 70 to 85 days. Number 2. Garlic greens. If you ever left a garlic bulb alone for a few weeks, you may have noticed the clove sprouting a little green foot from one of its ends. Instead of tossing it, plant that sprouting garlic clove about an inch deep in a small container and water it. Within weeks, you'll have garlic greens. Hardness zone is 4 to 9, full sun, well-draining soil with slightly acidic to neutral pH, and 90 days. And finally, number 1. Carrots. Carrots are accommodated and low-maintenance vegetables. Growing them in containers is not just a great option for indoor growing. It also solves the problem of trying to grow them in heavy, rocky soil should your outdoor conditions be unfavourable. Hardness zone is 3 to 10, light, full sun to partial shade, loose, well-draining soil with a neutral to slightly acidic pH, and 50 to 75 days. Now, good news, we are returning to our bedtime lesson.